Hello and welcome to this mid-morning taste challenge. I have two Kentucky bourbon whiskeys, straight bourbon whiskeys. This is very old Barton, 86 proof, no age statement, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey from Barton Distilling. But it's owned by the Sazerac Company. They bought Barton in 2009. All right, I bought this in Pascagoula, Mississippi. It was $11.99. I think that was the price. It wasn't much. It wasn't a lot. All right, so I've never seen it outside of Kentucky or Mississippi. True story. All right, now here's Evan Williams, 1783. This is the American Hero Edition, 2023. It's a warehouse pick. It's picked from two warehouses. Bernheim's Louisville warehouse number 1E and 1J. Does it make a difference? I tried the regular 1783 that was introduced in 2021, the new revamped version. I didn't see where it made a difference, but you might think it does, but I couldn't see. It tastes the same to me. Anyway, I got this for $9. Thank you, Sean. He found this at Walmart for $9, and he alerted me to it. So $9 plus tax. Normal price will be about $18 to $19 plus tax. Yes. So that's been a great one. 90 proof, 86 proof. Age, there's no official age statement, okay, but it's age 6 to 8 years. I know that because on their press release, Heaven Hill said it was age 6 to 8 years. So makes sense, right? All right. Let's see what happens. My prediction is that it's going to be tough. And I may not be able to tell them apart because they're probably pretty close. As soon as I do this, I got to go out and cut the grass. I don't know if this is a good idea to do bourbon tasting before I go mow the lawn, but it is going to be about 90 degrees. Okay. I need my glasses to see far away, but up close, I don't. So if I'm reading something, I can't have glasses on. If I'm reading a book. So I would not need reading glasses. I need far away glasses. I don't even need them for this, but it helps a little bit from smaller words. Okay. Appearance, they're both amber, so that's not gonna. This one's a little darker. That's the Evan Williams. Burley Sullivan says, "You." Harold Marcia says, "Cheers, Ron. Cheers to you guys. Cheers to y'all. Cheers to the heat." All right. So in reality, not in these crazy Louisiana prices like $9, but in reality, Evan Williams is probably about $5 more per bottle. So we'll call it $5. Could be a little different, but it's probably around $5 difference per bottle. Okay. Maybe $6. Now, a better taste challenge obviously would be the 90 proof very old Barton versus the 90 proof Evan Williams, but 1783. But then, like I said, I don't have the 90 proof very old Barton. Evan Williams before 2021 was 86 proof. So the 1783 small batch used to be 86 proof. They jumped it up to 90. And I was looking at some old bottles from like 50 years ago, 40, 50, probably 45, 50 years ago. That's how long they've been making some of these special edition bourbons. I'm not saying they were popular, but they made them. And it used to say age 10 years. You find real old bottles that said age 10 years. And very old Barton used to say age 6 years, but that's gone. All right, taste time. Smelling cherry, like cherries. Well, I don't recall cherries with very old Barton. I'm gonna tell you now. Charred oak, vanilla, honeysuckle nectar. Smells very Sazerac-ish, very Bartonish, very even Buffalo Trace-ish. Although I know Barton and Buffalo Trace is detached one from another, but they have the same parent company, so they may not be that detached. After all, the very old Barton is bottled at Buffalo Trace. I'm not saying it's distilled there. I'm saying bottled there. I think they brought all their bottling over to one location, which makes sense. But except for Western Kentucky, Northwest, and Glenmore Distilling in Owensboro. Well, that's separate. Really, there's no carryover from Glenmore to Buffalo Trace or Barton or back and forth. They're pretty separate, but they are owned by the same man and his wife, Mr. and Mrs. William Goldring Jr. Bill Goldring, very well-known person in New Orleans, especially with the elites. Okay, but I'm not jealous. I'm not a socialist. Okay. So aroma, are they the same? Nah, not really. I mean, yeah, corn. Yeah, corn. But otherwise, this is the cherry. This is charred oak. So no, I would not say they're too similar. Taste time. Cheers. Cherry. Mash bill. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about the mash bill. What did Heaven Hill say? 78% corn, 12% rye, and 10% malted barley. I'm pretty sure what they said. That's what they said. Well, that doesn't add up to 100. That's yeah, it does. Duh. 78 and 12 is 90 plus 10 is 100. Okay, sorry about that little mental lapse. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what the mash bill is. 78% corn, 12% rye whiskey, and 10% malted barley whiskey, or as they will call it in Scotland, single malt. Um, what about the very old Barton? Actually, it's probably not that different. It's probably a lot of corn, some rye, and some malted barley. But the percentages, I do not know, but I bet you it's very close. I would think if I had to put money, like say $10, I would say it's very close, meaning within a few percentage points. You say, no, that one's 75, 15, and 10. Okay, wow, big difference. Chart up. Taste. Cheers. Um, I think that generally these are very close. And I think that if you say, well, you say to me, I only have enough money to buy one or the other. I can't afford both this month. Which one should I pick? I'd say, fair enough. I would go with the cheaper product, assuming you could find both. And I really think everybody can find this one. This is everywhere. 1783 small batch, Evan Williams. I mean, that's common, all right? Very old Barton, definitely not common. But let's assume that you could find both. Say, I live in Pascagoula, Mississippi. I live in Frankfort, Kentucky. I can find both. Which one should I buy? My answer would be whatever one's cheaper. It's up to you. 86 proof, 90 proof. I mean, come on now. We're talking about 45% alcohol versus 43. Do you think 2 points out of 100 is going to really make a big difference? My answer is I don't think so. It may make a insignificant difference, but to say it's going to make any kind of practical difference, I'll say no. Aging. You see, that might make a difference, but 6 to 8 years. So let's say 7, the average is to 7. It's a blend of different whiskeys, 6 to 8 years. They say that on the website, heavenhill.com. You can look it up. This one's no age statement. So we know it's at least 4 years, but it used to be 6. So it's probably 5. They probably dropped it to 5, just like they did with Canadian Club from Canada. That used to be age 6 years. I found some old bottles that age 6 years, but the new bottles are only 5. So it's a half-year difference. On average, you know what I mean? No, I mean. So a 2-year difference, 5 to 7, could it matter? Yeah, it might. Just might. But so far, what I'm tasting, it really doesn't matter, Should you give this as a wedding gift? Well, I guess it depends on who's getting married, But I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you're going to give a bourbon for a wedding gift, I hate to give wedding gifts because most people don't like stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, thanks. And as soon as they said it, like, oh, they hate it. I like when they do the gift registry. They put all the stuff they want. I mean, it's pretty bad to do that. It's like, here's what we want. So pick something. But it's easier because at least they want it. You buy it, say, oh, yeah, okay. But see, bourbon is weird, because you get these finicky people, and it's like, oh, look, I gave you this Old Fitzgerald. It's $75 a bottle. It's their special high rye bourbon, whatever, aged 10 years. It was $75.99. And they'll be like, oh, I don't like Old Fitzgerald. I hate Heaven Hill products. It was like tell you that at the reception. I mean, people are funny about bourbon, They could have just said, oh, thanks. But, I don't like to do that. I want people to drink the thing. I want them to drink the product. I don't want them to humor me like, oh, yeah, thanks. And they're never going to open a bottle. I mean, I would. Obviously, I'm going to drink the bourbon. Like my friend David says, oh, man, this stuff is terrible. He said, but I ain't wasting it. You know what I mean? He's like, this stuff is terrible, but he ain't going to waste it. So, it's all a perspective thing. But some people will waste it, let it sit on the shelf for 60 years. He said they'd be married 60 years, huh? Well, these days, maybe 6. This modern world with these finicky people. They're more finicky than Morris the cat. But you see, but all of that aside, but it is true. I cannot stand buying people stuff like that. I don't like to buy people anything because they don't like it. I mean, if I thought they would like it, I would buy it, but they're going to be like, oh, thanks. Now, my father, I know what he likes. So, like, he likes to go out to eat at certain restaurants. It's like in only these restaurants. He's very repetitive. Like, I'll go here, there, and this place. But then he won't deviate. Hey, but that's easier for me because I could buy a gift card from one of those restaurants and he's going to use it because he's always going to go there anyway. So then he'd be like, oh, thanks. Consequently, he's going to use it. I would definitely buy whatever's cheaper in this showdown. I'm serious. Like, I would not, unless you're just buying everything because you want to try everything. I get that. I do the same thing, But I bought the Johnny Walker Blue Label. I didn't really need to spend $242 after tax for whiskey, but I thought, it's like James Bond, you only live twice. You only live twice. So, but I mean, with these two, you're going to have a hard time convincing me that this one's way better than that, and that one's way better than that. And I don't know anybody that's going to try to convince you that very old Barton is way better than Evan Williams 1783. Of course, on the other hand, I don't know anybody that cares either way. You know what I mean? They just say, like, nobody cares about that cheap bourbon. Some people do care about it. You just haven't met them yet. All right, so I'm going to... Oh, yeah. That cherry taste, and it does not contain cherries. It's got to be the Evan Williams. I'm going to read the comments, though. But I can't look at the darker. If I see the darker, I'm going to know it's Evan Williams. I got it. 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 I don't know if I mentioned this to y'all, but I got it. So now I got 6 wins, 2 losses, 6-2, 3-1, 3-to-1 ratio. Well, it's improving. It's improving. It's improving. It's improving. And I think I'm going to keep winning because, yes, those Sazerac Barton products were very, very similar one to another. I had a lot of trepidation going into it. I thought there was a pretty high risk of getting them wrong, and it actually turned out to be true. 3 wins, 2 losses. Not proud of that. But I blame them for making stuff that's too similar one to another. But then I went into other companies, so like Heaven Hill. Heaven Hill is similar to Sazerac in many ways, but it's also dissimilar in a few significant ways. So as soon as I tasted that cherry note, which, like I say, I don't really know where that's coming from, but as soon as I tasted that, I was like, yep, that's the Evan Williams. And I was right about that. And this morning I got it right too. So do I have any more Heaven Hill unopened? I have a lot of Heaven Hill, closed. Wait, I'm saying it backwards. Do I have any open Heaven Hill left? No. I got a lot of unopened, but I have some other stuff. I got Jesse James bourbon. I got that's from bottle in California. That's a strange product. It's good, but it's a little bit peculiar. I have George Dickel Cascade Hollow from Tennessee. Very nice product. Got it for the greatest deal in the world. Got the what's the other one I have? Bellows Kentucky Straight Bourbon. Not exactly famous, not exactly beloved, but it has been on the market. That company has been around since 1830, and that's a true story. Now, I'm not saying about that actual product, but they have been procuring bourbon and Irish whiskey and so forth, Scotch whiskey at least. I don't know about Irish. Since 1830, they really never produced anything. They just procured it. They were like brokers, wine brokers, but in this case, whiskey brokers, like J&B, Just Rennie and Brooks. Burley Sullivan, I already read that. Burley Sullivan says, you ever have Johnny Walker Blue Label? Yes, and I was just talking about that. And I did a video review. We did a duo. And I did like it. There's no doubt that it's beautiful, and I can't really take issue with it. But I can take issue with it when I put it into taste challenges. On its own merits, if you taste it in isolation, it's like, oh, wow, Johnny Walker Blue Label. Oh, man, this is not quite amazing, though. If you watch my solo review, I'm like, gave it a 95. You say, well, that's pretty high, 95 out of 100. Yeah, but come on, for $226 plus tax, it should not be scoring a 95 out of 100. It should be up to at least 99 and in a better scenario, 100, right? I mean, it really should. So to me, it was a failure. Glad I bought it. I did it. Been there, done that. Okay. But a repurchase? No, I'll let you do it and then I'll drink it. Okay. So, yeah. Evan Williams, 1783. Is there a lot of good things to say about it? Yes, I would say there is almost an unlimited good amount of good things to say about it. And I don't really understand why somebody would drink this and talk dog about it, how bad it is. Now, I did watch a couple of, man, maybe more than two to four video reviews where they were just trouncing it, talking about how horrible it was. Oh, this stuff is so bad. Oh, it's terrible. Oh, I would never drink it. And on and on and on until the break of dawn. And I was watching this and I was like, nah, there is no way this is bad. I had tasted it. I said, this is not bad. I don't know where you coming from, but there's no way this stuff's bad. This stuff is not bad. And in fact, it's not even just so-so. It's really good. Like, really good. Now you say, oh, I want the bottle and bond. I want the bottle. Well, that's fine. That's a personal preference issue because bottle and bond is 100 proof. All right. So you get the 100 proof. This is 90. So you say, I like high proof. And I guess 100 would be the beginning of high proof. You say, no, I don't really go for that. It's a little too strong for me. So that's a personal preference issue. It's not a quality issue. And I'm still watching videos to this very day where people will rate a product based on what they like. Like, well, I don't really like cherry soda, so I'm gonna give it a B minus. It's okay, but I don't really like cherry soda. I didn't think that's what the video was about. I thought the video should have been about, is it a quality product? Not, do you personally like cherry soda? It's like me telling you, I don't really like Westerns. My father watches Western all day. I don't like them. No one cares. That's not the argument. The argument was, is it a good movie? Not to say I watch movies, but is it a good movie? Not, do I like Westerns? Is it a good bourbon? That'd be like somebody saying, well, I can't stand bourbon, but let me give you a score. I'm gonna give it a D minus because I can't stand bourbon. It's like, wake up. Use your mind. Use your brain. Same thing over here. Would I be searching it out? No, and I was not searching for it. I just stumbled across it in Pascagoula, Mississippi, like I'm telling you, and I brought it home during the scamdemic. Would I ever find any fault with it? Maybe I could, but I'm not finding any fault so far. I think it's a very nice straight bourbon whiskey. Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. What are the flaws with it? I don't know. You tell me, because I'm not picking up any. Is it like amazing? It's not going to be amazing for $11.99. But then on the other hand, I could mention that I never did taste any bourbon that was amazing. Like people say, oh, that's amazing. They were very delicious. Eagle Rare and Blanton's and Pappy Van Winkle. But was I amazed? No. It just tastes like bourbon to me. It's like, okay, you take corn, you make a liquor. That's not amazing. The taste was just nice. It was nice. So, all these things I tried are nice. They're very nice. Okay, so I'm very happy that I was able to tell them apart. And now, I guess I'll be back soon enough in a couple of days. Thanks, everybody.